Hello, good evening, and for the third time this week, welcome to In the Know, brought to you by the Racing Post and Coral. After a day two on the Knavesmire of the Ebor meeting and in the studio, maybe at home you'd thought you'd got that York track sorted on day one, but don't worry, it soon whipped us back into shape on day two. But we had some thrilling finishers, in particular in the Yorkshire Oaks. We were talking about Ballydoyle pacemakers last night. Who knew that it was going to work out the other way around, that the favourite was going to make the pace for stablemate Warm Heart to get up and score. Favourite backers were in relief as Relief Rally rattled home to give William Haggas the first of a double today, with Sea Theme also impressive in that listed race as well. But most impressive winner of the day, well, it's probably a draw, isn't it, between Nagiri in the last for Rafe Beckett, who absolutely jotted up, and Dragon Leader in the sales race. 22 runners, only one ever in it. Welcome to York. It is live and interactive, of course. If you're watching at home, then do make sure you like the stream. You've been fantastic at home with the algorithm this week, so keep it up and get those comments in throughout the evening as well. My name is Ross Brierley, as ever. I'm joined by people, like I said, who I quite frankly spend more time with than my closest relatives these days. To my left is Uncle Paul Kealy, as you will now be known.
No, you can't spend that much time with your relatives, can you?
No, they live an hour away. So, it's a long way to go, isn't it?
Once a month, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
There you go.
What did you make of today?
Well, they're back to normal, isn't it, for me at festivals? Drew a complete blank on the day.
Yeah.
Couple of places in their big handicap, but other than that, it was a lot of it was painful viewing, but some cracking racing. Relief Rally picked up really, really well, didn't she? Thought she was beat, and she's actually won the race quite easily. Dragon Leader again was very, very impressive. Nagiri, crikey, I mean that's an absolute mile ahead of the mark, and it completely ruined that.
I don't think they'll mind because it's a group horse of that, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So good for her. And the Yorkshire Oaks was a really good race, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't fancy Warm Heart at all pre-race, and then I was watching the race and I was thinking, well, this is setting up beautifully for something to come from the back. She got going first time before Free Win got going. James Dorr, first winner for the year at the stable as well. And but I think a lot of people have been screaming Frankie home. But yeah, that Ribblesdale form given a boost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good bit of form. Like, I think they are all a bit of a muchness, aren't they?
Yeah.
But they're all fairly good at the same time as well.
Yeah, I mean the fillies and mares, again, it's conditions are quite specific to a lot of the horses, as we saw today, but also just getting into a rhythm, getting into a bit of form. And I mean, obviously she's got a stunning pedigree, as you would expect from the stable.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to give a mention to Ropey Guest as well.
Oh yeah,
we love Ropey Guest, don't we? I mean, he's cost me an absolute fortune today.
I was going to say, do you love him today?
Beating Point Lioness, but no, I do love him. He's an old favourite, isn't he? And he's never won a big handicap, and he's done it. And he's run some cracking races in some really big handicaps in his life. Never managed to get it done. I mean, he actually only went off at 7-1 for a Wokingham a couple of years ago. He was backed off the boards from about 33s all the way down to 7s, and but he's always had the talent, and he's finally put it all together and won one. So fair play to him.
Yeah, and he's probably got more Twitter followers than a lot of us, I think. So he's had a good day, that's for sure. Shout out to Tom Segal at home, joining us with that Seahawks jumper back. The lucky Seahawks jumper. Tom, what did you make of today? Relief Rally. We're saying about the 2-year-olds, best of the 2-year-old fillies, should be unbeaten. Really, William Haggas' charge, but interesting to see what they do with her.
Yeah, she was much best, wasn't she? I thought she was really impressive. She's much better than the rest of the fillies. Keels was pointing out that they're probably not a brilliant bunch, but she's the best of them, for sure. I was really impressed with her. I thought the one thing about it was like an old-fashioned York, going back to my youth, where they sort of stayed up the far side. The thing about York is when the ground gets fast, you cannot get hampered, ever. You've got to have a clear run. It's really, really hard to make up ground just stopped in your run ever. I mean, the mile handicap, the Ropey Guest one was a really good example of that, wasn't it? And the nursery afterwards. The ones that got a clear run had, if you get at all hampered, you've got no chance. I thought Ryan Moore was excellent today. I know he only had one winner. I thought all his rides he gave the best chance. I know Sonny Liston was only fourth, but the way he manoeuvred him to the inside and never got stopped once when everyone else was playing bumper cars, given the way that horse has to be ridden, I thought that was a really brilliant ride. I thought he was I couldn't believe Save the Last Dance had the pace to make the running. I thought that was a good ride, and obviously he did what he did in the sales race. So look, I thought it was fascinating racing. I thought it was really interesting. I like tracks that you sort of know what to expect. You know what's going to happen. Didn't help me find many winners apart from Relief Rally, but do you know what I mean? I thought it was really good racing, as York used to be and as York should be.
Yeah, that is true. David Stevens has departed the saddle for us this evening, though, and you may remember him as Simon Clare. Tonight, it's Simon Clare. There, he's back. He's back from holiday. We haven't seen you for, I don't know, it must be the best part of a month now.
Yeah, I think, God, it must have been pretty, I don't know, King George show or something. Anyway, yeah, I missed Goodwood thanks to a calendar error 12 months ago when I booked the Disney World holiday, thinking Goodwood might actually happen in July rather than August. But watched it from afar, was quietly smug that it wasn't the glorious weather you'd normally associate with Goodwood while I was roasting in the 95-degree heat in Florida. But good to be back. Enjoyed the last couple of days watching Steve-O in the chair with you guys, trying to find the winners and watching the racing. Yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of talk of Mickey Mouse at Goodwood as well, I think, given the conditions. So you're probably better off there. But what have we made of York so far? Have you got anything to entice us in for tomorrow?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I thought Mustard was amazing under Frankie, and I felt for Jim Crowley. I sent him a message sort of saying, I'm presuming you're gutted and excited for the rest of the season, after missing out on that winner. Relief Rally, I thought was amazing today. I mean, just Tom mentioned the fact that, if you get stuck in your run, it can be crucial. But I thought right at the vital moment, he didn't have anywhere to go. And, he was, eased him out to the outside, and then he won Cosley. And he's 5-1, second favourite for the Prix de l'Abbé. And, I thought, the 2-year-olds, the Platinum Queen won last year as a 2-year-old, didn't it? So I think Relief Rally could be very interesting over in France if they take that route. And yes, some specials. A few here. Again, actually, Tom. Singing Ryan Moore's praises. Well, this is an interesting one the traders can't win. This is Ryan Moore to ride 3 or more winners tomorrow. Big ask. He's got rides in all 7 races, ranging from 5-2 Johan Brahms, 11-4 Battle Cry, 4 English Oak, 5 Serena, 7 Broome, 10 Mile Harbour the Champ, and 25 Aesop's Fable. Still quite a tall order, but it's 10-1 if you think Ryan Moore's going to have a stellar day tomorrow. And obviously, Tom's talking about how well he's riding at the moment. William Haggis. Great day today with the double. He's got a few chances tomorrow. I think 4 main hopes for York. He's 6-4 to train 1 or more winners. So basically, to get a winner tomorrow at York, he's got 9-2 Taffreed, 7 Amanzo, 14-1 Educated for the Queen, and 20-1 Lake Forest. So yeah, not such an easy spring tomorrow to get a winner from. And then a couple of price offers. Courage Mon Ami. 11-4, actually being back now. I think it's 5-2 generally. We're going 7-2 Courage Mon Ami, up to £20 for the next hour. If you fancy that horse, definitely take that 7-2. The way the market's moving, you'd be surprised to see any bigger than that tomorrow. Highfield Princess, 15-8. We're 6-4 at the moment. There is a bit of 13-8. We're going to go 15-8 Highfield Princess for the rest of the show. If you fancy, that might be a price in excess of what you might get tomorrow.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we got most of that. I think we might have to get you a microphone in there, Simon, but luckily they all came up on the screen for us, so that's all right. But yeah, we'll be getting stuck into tomorrow. Shout out to quite a few people first. I mean, we've got to give a shout out. Where is he? On the comments. Obviously, we've got the live chat as well, but the commenters on the bottom of the stream after who watch it on the evening or the morning are very entertaining indeed. And where is it? Malloy D5551, of course. He says, I'm sticking with Ropey Guest to get there on the line. And it does say that was posted 18 hours ago. So I did check that it wasn't after the race as well. And quite a few people as well. So they landed a patent. William Hughes said he landed a patent on day 1 with the angles from the show. And a couple of people landed the place pot as well. And Jimmy229 said that last night was the first night he sensed some tension between Paul and Tom. Is this relationship finally going to come to an end, guys?
Tension?
Yeah.
What, between
Not at all.
Not at all.
Well, I don't think Keels and I, we're the 2 most laid-back people in the history, I reckon. I don't think there's ever been any tension. We've known each other for...
I haven't had a row since I was about 7.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What was that about?
I can't remember.
No, fair enough. No. Did you win?
Probably not.
You thought you were giving us a bad job. Anyway, we'll get stuck into to tomorrow after this.
Are you ready to take your passion for horse racing to the next level? With Racing Post Members Club, you gain exclusive access to the best racing insights, analysis and tools. Immerse yourself in award-winning content, from interviews with the sport's biggest stars to race previews and behind-the-scenes features. Get the inside track with early access to the Racing Post digital newspaper from 9 p.m. in the evening and daily selections from our expert tipsters. Racing Post Members Club is your ultimate ticket to the thrilling world of racing. Subscribe today and pay just £9.99 per month for the first 2 months with the code SUMMER. See the link in the video description for more information. Terms apply.
There we go, get involved in that Members Club offer. A couple of things before we move on. First things first, hello to everyone on the chat. Proxy, Music, Mike, Emily Lowry, Jack Andrew, good evening to you. And Destiny Sounds, it says, Symbology Place, Tom owes Ross an apology. So Tom, I'm here if you want to give me that.
Ross, your champagne is still in my fridge, my friend. She ran a lot better than I was expecting, but she was 3rd of 8, so...
All right. Can you at least give me a shot of it, maybe? Just a little bit.
Yeah. When I come... Oh, no, there hasn't been 1,000 likes, has there? When I come in on the 21st of October, if I come in, I will buy you a couple of pints, my friend.
Okay.
We're well past halfway, Tom. You're in.
Yeah, this campaign really has taken off. We broke the record for In the Know likes on day 1 of this week, and we broke the record again last night. So maybe we'll break the record again tonight. I don't know what it is. People just want to see if you own a pair of trousers, Tom.
How many have we had then?
We've had 902 days.
Come on, that's ridiculous. You're making it up.
Oh, no. I'll send you the screenshots after this. Anyway, so keep them coming. Keep those lights coming in. And Tom Segal will be bringing us all of us a bottle of champagne in for Champions Day. But the first race tomorrow at York is the 150. A mile and a half handicap here. Balance Play is 3-1 favourite for this Class 2 handicap. Wootton Sun 4-1. Intinzo 13-2. Backdoor is 9-1. Mahaba the champ 10-1 with Toshizu and Paradias. 12-1 Dark Moon Rising. And the bigger prices the rest, including Educator, who's got a bit of form if those blinkers can wake him up a little bit, and a couple of Charlie Johnston runners who might have a squeak as well. But we've already seen one very impressive Rafe Beckett winner owned by the same connections as Balance Play, and this horse is on a bit of a roll as well after wins at Chester and Goodwood. You were quite sweet on him last time out, poor Kealy. I was going to say very different conditions, which it is to Goodwood, but he does have fast ground form as well.
Well, he does have some, but he's never actually run on proper fast ground, has he? Well, he did have run on proper fast ground. I thought he got outpaced that day. And it's one of those, I might be reading too much in it. I mean, I backed him the last 3 times he's run. I might be reading a little bit too much in it. He got outpaced at Epsom that day, and it might have been the track. Yeah. And it was a good race anyway.
It was.
But I've gone off him because it's fast ground.
I mean, he is, you know,
and he's only 7-2.
Yeah.
He
well, 3-1 now.
He didn't half win easily.
True.
At Goodwood, so I mean, I could be making this more complicated than it should be. But there was one down there at a much bigger price that just really interests me, and that's Dark Moon Rising of Kevin Rhines. You know, he was really highly tried early last season. Ran in the Dante, finished 4th. I mean, okay, he was beating a fair way, but he still got given a mark of 102 for doing it. And you know, he then ran in a big race at Royal Ascot, the King Edward VII, and yeah, but he just lost his form completely, and it looked like he'd gone completely. He got gelded at the end of last season, ran 3 terrible runs from the front down at a mile as well, and last 2 runs though, both at York, switching tactics, held up. He came charging through to finish 4th, third the first time, and then
he shot home last time.
And then he shot home, and it was a mile and a half. He's proved he stayed it. Yes, it wasn't as good a race as this one. We know that, but he's only rated 86. It's still £16 lower than he was last spring. And he just seems to be a horse on the way back. So I just thought to myself, he might just be rather well handicapped.
Yeah. And
I
Forza
just
Auto, of
thought,
course,
double plus Forza Auto, one for Kevin Ryan earlier in the week. Yeah, it could be interesting.
Okay, yeah, Dark Moon Rising, who's turned into a bit of a York horse here in the opener for the 150. But over to you, Tom. I mean, I'd be if you. This is the first time, and I'm just touching wood. This is the first time that I'm absolutely 100% convinced that I know exactly what you're going to go for. I always get it wrong.
You will get it wrong. I'm get it wrong.
Because if I get it wrong, then the followers of Tom Segal's 2 for the tracker are going to, quite frankly, feel cheated because.
Wootton Son, you're going to say.
I am going to say Wootton Son. Paul Hannigan's last ride, his only ride before his retirement. Absolutely bomb-proof form, beating Scampy, then miles clear with the same horse last time out. That horse has got a big chance in the Ebor on Saturday. Richard Farley, fast ground, front runner's track. Surely Wootton Son.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm a jockey's man, and as much as I love Paul Hannigan, and he was obviously a superstar in his youth, I'm not a great fan of backing him in these days. Now, I'd love him to win.
I know, but how many Northern jockeys have retired with a winning final ride? Tom?
Yeah, but they do it in Class 5s at Redcar and the like, don't they?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, fair enough.
It's a valuable handicap. Listen, I love Wootton Son to win. I'm a massive fan of the horse. Got a great chance. If Keels' one wins, I'm jumping off the roof because all week that has been my horse to back all week. And then in the very last minute when I was doing it, I just went off it thinking that unlike Keels, I thought he might not like the very fast ground. Dark Moon Rising, I could be wrong about that by Night of Thunder. So I was slightly concerned about it. And I honestly think that Balance Play is going to win. And I think he's going to win easily because I think he'll love the ground.
All right. I might have to join you on the roof at the same time. We watch it together, sure.
yeah, I could say, yeah.
Both of us. I said you've got one at 12s and I'm on at 3, so I should be with you. But I just thought he'd love the ground. When I was watching that last race today, I thought, oh, this Nagiri, she's one to take on Lope de Vega back on fast ground for the first time. She was totally different to how it had been before.
So he told you they like fast ground, didn't I?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, I didn't actually. Well, we won't go.
Look, I'm sensing a bit of tension here, guys. So I'm sensing a bit of tension.
It's all good. It's all good. I just think that. I think he's a good Balance Play. I really do. I think he could just win this by mile. But I do like Dark Moon Rising, and I've got to give Intenso a chance as well because I thought he ran really well when he was a bit keen from a dodgy draw at Ascot last time. 3-year-olds haven't got a very good record in this. In fact, I can't remember the last time a 3-year-old won. So I might be barking up the wrong tree with Balance Play and Intenso, but I'm surprised if Wootton Son could give him £9. And I'd be surprised if he's not a much better horse than all of those in the race. So, look, I'm not splitting the atom here by any stretch of the imagination, but I just think he's probably a group horse. And he just could be a class above these. And so I ended up on Balance Play, but I'll undoubtedly be having probably more than I should have on Dark Moon Rising as well.
Okay. Last time a 3-year-old one was 2009 with Whispering Gallery for Mark Johnson and Richard Hill. So obviously both of those have now retired. So it's last time a 3-year-old won. Both jockey and trainer are no longer involved. As for those other ones to mention, I mean, you talk about Kevin Ryan. Mar Harbour, the champ, surely is a fast ground York horse as well. And, 10 furlongs at Goodwood last time out in soft ground wasn't to his liking. And Epsom as well is a funny little track. He seemed to hate every second of it. But again, he is a York horse.
Yeah, he's certainly one that could come back to form. Wouldn't surprise you in the slightest, would it?
Okay.
What about the long absent Bagdoor Keels?
Yes, I did like her. I mean, a very good piece of form, that second to Trawler Man, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's won the Ebor next time. And, so very solid chance if fit and ready to go. I think probably wants another couple of furlongs, to be honest. I think it'd be a minimum trip for him.
Yeah, and obviously... I mean, since Chris Wall's retired as well, it really has made him look like a fantastic trainer, hasn't it? Because he used to get so many wins out of so few horses.
Oh, he was a good trainer, wasn't he?
He was a fantastic trainer. I mean, I knew he was a good trainer at the time, but even now, the horses have gone to other good trainers and have have done worse since. So backdoor 91 off the back of an absence here. But okay, balance play 3-2-1, and Tom thinks is a group horse, and Keels is getting off here. He's going on Dark Moon Rising, who Tom was going to tip. Wootton Sun was surely going to be the Tom Segal tip, but is not the Tom Segal tip now. So there could be quite a few tears after this first race tomorrow, Simon.
Yeah, there could be, couldn't there? I mean, kind of that 3-year-old, it's interesting, we're all focused on the 3-year-old record. I'd have quick look back to the last 10 years. There's only been 9 3-year-old runners in the last decade, so not many actually run, but none have won, as you said. I think you've gone further back than me to find the last winner was it 2009, you said. So the fact that the first and third favourite both 3-year-olds, is a slight concern. I think maybe over this trip, as the weight allows less of a benefit than over sprint distances. I don't know. I wouldn't have looked to the stats closely enough, but
I mean, there was a good time. There was only one 3-year-old in last year's race, and he got beat 3/4 of a length to the second. So yeah, it's not. You're right. There's not many going.
Yeah, it's not statistically significant. These are two horses with great form, so I think you wouldn't be put off backing them. Each we're paying extra place, 4 places on the race. Balance play has been probably the best back in the race so far in the last few hours. So lots of confidence behind the Ray Beckett horse. I just saw Educator, the form of William Haggis, Tom Markham riding brilliantly. It was a tactical race for Windsor last time. Still quite unexposed. I think this trip and ground will suit him down to the ground. So around 14-1 for the extra place each way. He'll probably do for me. But the 3-year-olds, particularly Balance Play, probably the best back in this contest.
Okay, Balance Play is a 3-1 shot then here. Paul Kealy?
Yeah, I've taken a chance on Dark Moon Rising. I can see Balance Play all day long though.
Okay, fair enough. And I'll go for the other Kevin Ryan horse, Mar Harbour, the champ, and Wootton Sun as well. I just think, put it this way, he might not win Wootton Sun, Tom, but he's going to be in the mix until the very closing stage at the very least. We know what he's going to do.
I am not. I can't watch it, Ross. I'm not going to be able to watch this race with Wootton Sun, Dark Moon Rising, and me on the 3-1 fab. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think Balance Play will win. But I don't know. I'd like Wootton Sun to win most for Hannigan, and Dark Moon Rising I will be having a bet on.
Okay. And Stephen Harris says he wants to see Wootton Sun and Paul Hannigan do a Frankie in the enclosure. Balance play last time, but this is not a good race for 3-year-olds, so probably Wootton Sun says Music Mike. Moving on then from the opener tomorrow on the Naesmire to the Lonsdale Cup, Group 2 farther stayers, 2 miles the distance here, and Courage Mon Ami is 5-2 to bounce back to that Royal Ascot form and put Goodwood behind him. Coltrane is 11-4 to beat some old rivals here. Quickthorn, well, I wonder what he's going to do tomorrow. 3-1 in there for Hughie Morrison and Tom Marquand again. Broome 7-1, Giavoletto 15-2, River of Stars 16-1, and Nate the Great at 33-1. And Tom Connections were deciding whether to send Courage Mon Ami or Gregory to Goodwood. They sent Courage Mon Ami there. He got beat, and Gregory got beat earlier on in the week at this track as well. And I don't know. Wethnan Racing might be just checking the sales receipt for a returns policy, I think, for a couple of these, potentially. But the most interesting thing here, though, is can they stop Quickthorn?
I don't know. I'm not sure they can. I mean, it's crazy betting, isn't it? For me, I mean, I think Quickthorn should be fab. I mean, I know everyone tells me that it was equine robbery at Goodwood last time, but he's going to do the same again on a track that should suit him even better on ground. I mean, the problem with it is whether the ground will be a little bit too quick for him, because that is the issue with Quickthorn, isn't it? I mean, he has won on ground this quick, but whether he actually likes it this quick, when he was a 3-year-old, all they talked about was how he's got to have soft ground. I remember backing him, having a very good bet on him at Ascot one day when it was heavy ground. He tailed off last, But that would be the issue. I still think he's going to go well. I think it's wide open, really. I think you can make case. I don't really fancy Courage Mon Ami, actually, if truth be told. I thought Coltrane would beat him this time round here. Broome is Broome, isn't he? You don't really know. He's got some bits of form you think would be give him a great chance. I thought Giavoletto had a chance myself. It's not a race I'm too interested in as a betting medium, because I think you can make a case for the first 5, and maybe Giavoletto at the prices, given his Yorkshire Cup form, was it? Gives him a shot. But I think Quickthorn, I wouldn't be surprised if Quickthorn won again, despite the ground being probably quicker than he likes.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to firm in June, wasn't it, when he won here, and he finished second to Princess Zoe in was it the Segal Stakes last year, where he probably should have won as well. So yeah, he's 3-1, but it's going to be fascinating because again, everyone gave the jockeys in behind a kicking, but you take him on and you get beat as well, don't you?
No, they deserve to kick in.
Yeah,
absolutely deserve to kick in. He's done it before.
Yeah, but isn't he not? Isn't he just going to
go and do it again? Why should he? Look, there was 5 runs in between him doing this at York last year and doing this last time, and he made the run in all bar one of them, and they didn't let him go. And the only one he won was a Mickey Mouse listed race. All right, so if they hang on to his coattails, then he's very beatable. If they let him go, then he's going to be extremely hard to peg back. We know that. But I mean, yeah, they're all absolutely mad. I cannot. I can't see how they let him go this time. I really can't. I mean,
isn't the point? Don't want to be the one to chase.
Yeah, this is the problem. You do not want to. Like you said, you do not want to be the one that sets it up for everybody else by chasing them. But if they let him go, I mean, there should be scenes, shall we say, if it happens again. But I mean, the way I looked at this, I mean, there are 3 horses rated 118, 1 horse rated 117, 3 of them are between 5-2 and 3-1. The other one's 7s. So I'm just backing the one that's 7s. That's Broome. Okay. Now he has run terribly last 2 times, but last time at Goodwood they all did, apart from Quickthorn, and it's a long while since he ran well on soft ground. Well, he has got form on it, but it's a long while since he ran well on it. And time before that, he just didn't stay in the Gold Cup. He was still in there pitching 2 furlongs out. He didn't stay. Time before that, he was 3rd in the Yorkshire Cup here, staying on, beaten a length and a half. He comes out just about better at the weights than the winner, which was Giavoletto, and of course he was finished in front of Quickthorn. So he's got a big shout. He's got tons of fast ground form. Obviously, he's been second in the Breeders' Cup. He's been a half length fourth in a Derby.
He beat Mostadaf at Ascot last year.
Beat Mostadaf in the Hardwick. So he's got tons of form. If he shows up, then he's as good, if not better, than any of the others in the race. There is a big doubt about whether if he shows up or not. He's a straightforward, small win bet, isn't he? But he's definitely got the form to win this, and on terms of ability, he's a far bigger price than he should be.
Yeah, I think the big thing for him as well is that Ryan Moore's back in the saddle, isn't he? Which and he gets on. I mean, he gets on well with every horse because he's an incredible jockey. But he does have a very good record on Broome in particular. But again, it's going to be one of those races, isn't it, Simon? That we're going to have all these opinions, and then after furlong and a half, they might completely change.
Yeah, listen, definitely. It's just such a fascinating tactical race because I suppose the other thing is, that assumption that if all the horses just go as fast as Quickthorn, therefore keep up with him, they'll be ready to, still have the energy to, go past him at the line. I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? It's that whole weight conservation, sort of, energy conservation, and he did it last year in this race. He did it again at Goodwood. So as I say, it'll be fascinating just to watch the race which jockeys decide to take different action rather than just sit in a sort of in a pack behind him. And I think he should be favourite. Not on that basis, given there's every chance he could have the race run to suit again. But he's drifting in the betting. He's 113 places. We're 3-1. All the money is for Courage Mon Ami. So people obviously backing the Tory to work his magic on that horse. He's now 5-2 generally, and that is our in the nose special. We're 7-2 till the end of the show. So if you fancy some 7-2, if you're in the Tory camp on the Ascot Gold Cup winner, you want to take that. That's up to £20 max bet. And we're paying 3 places. It's a 7-runner race, but nice and competitive. So James Knight is offering each way the 3 places on the race. So, obviously if you like Broome or Giavoletto, maybe that's an angle. You can back them each way as well as to win. But no, fascinating race. Can't wait to watch it. I think given the way Marcon's riding at the moment, what I saw at Goodwood last time, what happened last year, and the prices, I'll be back in Quickthorn.
Okay, Quickthorn 3-1. Quite a few comments at home. Coltrane for Jack Andrew and Stephen Harris. Giavoletto for Tom Leach. And where are we? Yeah, the Bookie's Foe says, I think the filly is very interesting. And that is, of course, River of Stars, who has won here on fast ground at York. And Rafe Beckett ran 3 horses today, Keels, and they finished 4th, 4th and 1st. So is she out of it?
I personally think so.
Okay.
I think there's some very good horses in there. She's got to improve a bit, but obviously Beckett's in incredible form.
Yes, he is indeed. Okay, so this is possibly well, about as many opinions as runners in this race. But the Lonsdale Cup, Keels, how will you be approaching it?
I just think Broom's way too big a price, purely on ability alone.
Okay, Broom to sweep them aside. It's got to be done, I guess. Tom Segal?
Way too hard for me. I think Coltrane is probably the solid one. I think Giavoletto and Broom can run well. I don't fancy River the Stars that much, but then Rafe Beckett can pull more rabbits out of that hat than Paul Cooper. Do you remember? Was it Paul Cooper?
Paul Cooper?
Can't remember.
Sorry.
Paul Daniels. The one.
Oh yeah, Paul Cooper. Yeah, he owns my local greengrocers, I think. Yeah, he's nice bloke. Yeah, never done a magic trick in his life.
Paul Cooper.
Yeah. Paul Cooper. Yeah. Paul Cooper and Debbie Smith. That was the pair of them, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, anyway, who's your favourite?
When you get to my names, mean nothing.
Who's your favourite magician, Simon? Brian Copperfield? What you got? I don't know. Anyone?
It's Brian Copperfield.
Oh dear. Anyway, if we get to 1,000 likes by the end of the week, Tom Segal's going to come in and do some magic tricks.
That'd be great.
He's going to pull a rope out of his mouth full of knots. But moving on from the Lonsdale Cup then to the 220, from the 225 to the 3 o'clock, the Gimcrack Stakes here. For the juveniles, 10 of them lining up a really competitive juvenile race, which, to be fair, has been the case all week at York. Even Relief Rally's race today was, it was a decent renewal, won by a very good horse. Who will win this year's Gimcrack? Johannes Brahms is 9-4 to turn around the form. After Royal Ascot, Kealy is 9-4, King's Gamble is 6-1, Hartem is 15-2, Emperor's Son is 12-1, Action Point is 12-1, Jahangir is 18s, Power Mode is 20-1, Lake Forest and Haller Emirati in there as well. So loads of form lines coming to the fore here, Tom, for this juvenile contest, which is possibly one of the most intriguing 2-year-old group races of the season, I think, because there are so many different angles, 5 furlongs, 6 furlongs. We've got your Goodwood form, your Ascot form, we've got Sandown form, we've got Once Race, really impressive novice winners as well. Looks wide open, this one. Absolutely.
The one thing I would say is I don't think the bar's very high. I think Relief Rally set quite a high bar. I think in the Colts bar, the 2 O'Brien horses, City of Troy, and I'm going to get his name wrong. The one that won the other day. We're not even going to attempt it. The one that won at the Curragh Day. I think they set the standard, but I think the rest of them were a much of a muchness.
Who won at the Curragh the other day?
The 2-year-old.
Diego
Velasquez, isn't it?
Diego,
yeah?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, you go. Yeah, I was going to call it.
There's a rather good one trained by Richard Hannon, though, isn't there?
Sorry?
There was a rather good one.
Oh, yeah, and Rosallion. Yeah, Rosallion from Richard Hannon at Ascot. But
so
the rest,
I feel like I think I've gone forward like 35 years in time here. Anyway, but
we're getting older, aren't we? We can't remember anything nowadays, can we, Tom?
Yeah.
That one trained by so and so.
Yeah, you can remember a Gimcrack from 25 years ago, but can't remember a horse who won last week.
Exactly. Funny you should say that. I was looking at the race earlier, and I was trying to remember all Kevin Ryan's winners of it, and I could, but I can't remember the name of a horse that won last Saturday. Crazy. But I thought I don't think they set a massively high standard. So I was looking for something out of the park. My original thought was King's Gamble for Rafe Beckett. Rafe Beckett is having an amazing run with his 2-year-olds, and most of them improved massively for their first run. He's had loads of winners that have run sort of down the field and then come out and won easily next time. So King's Gamble was pretty impressive. He ran some fast sectionals when he won at Newmarket there. He was my original choice. But I noticed I don't know if this is Mr. Kealy's fault. I haven't seen what he selected, but I noticed it went from sort of 9-1 to 6-1, just as I was. And in the end, I sort of went off him on price grounds and ended up on the other unexposed one, Jahangir, for the aforementioned Kevin Ryan, who has won the race 4 times previously, all with similar types. And he's a full brother to I'm going to get it wrong. Hello.
Who won the Commonwealth Cup?
I prefer to say he won the Betfred Sprint Handicap because the Commonwealth Cup's a load of rubbish. We all know that. But I thought he was an interesting horse. He bumped into Army Ethos on his debut at Ayr. When Army Ethos then ran second in the Coventry Stakes behind River Tiber. So I think he probably bumped into one there. And then he was sort of a little bit workmanlike when winning at air next time, but he was still pretty green. I think he's going to take a big step forward. I wanted to take on the form, but the two I was looking at were King's Gamble and Yahangia, just because we don't know how good they are. Whereas I think the other ones, with maybe the exception of Emperor's Son, are good, but I don't think they're unbeatable. So I was looking for a different angle in. The Kevin Ryan sort of angle led me to Yahangia, but I will probably be back in King's Gamble as well, although I've missed the price.
Yeah, 6-1 King's Gamble. Yeah, I watched back that, the speed figure was very good. Obviously, Beckett in fantastic form, Keels, and I watched back that video again earlier on today, and he's possibly the easiest 2-year-old winner I've seen all season.
I mean, it's one of those. I've been this week against horses that I've raced once in juvenile group races because they generally have a bad strike rate unless they're trained by Aidan O'Brien. But I had a look at Rafe Beckett's record, and it's almost a 50% strike rate of them finishing the first three when he does it. Like, you know what I mean? He just knows the ability of his horses.
Was a similar one, wasn't it?
I don't think she was down. She might have been actually, yeah. But he obviously won one with Antonio de Vega in there, and what's the Prestige, isn't it? That is being run on Saturday. So, and I like that, and I absolutely agree with Tom that, you know, I don't think they're all that good. I mean, Killian's reputation relies solely on that winning the national stakes at Sandown, which it turned out to be not a very good race, really. I mean, Hackman, the runner-up, went off at 50-1 in the sales race today, finished 7th. Like, you know what I mean? We're not talking about standout form, as simple as that. So something different, and just something about him looked a bit special. Yeah, I thought, and therefore, yeah, I rode in with him.
Okay. Yeah, King's Gamble 6-1. I would say that the Goodwood form this week has been standing up a little bit. We've had some half-decent winners from there. And I mean, I don't know, Hartem's an interesting one because, again, he's running to City of Troy. He was fairly comfortable. I don't think it was a great race at Goodwood last time out, but it's quite an intriguing angle that they're going for this with him.
He's tough, isn't he?
He's very tough,
you know, I mean, that's the thing. You do like the fact that he's tough, and he did win quite well last time. Has got a penalty to deal with though, and a horse who, like, you know, I mean, the form isn't, like Tom said, the form isn't brilliant, and he's penalised. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, what we're saying at the end of the day is even the one with the best form, which is Killian, is some way behind what you'd normally have to run to win a Lauber. Yeah. So
a Gimcrack.
A Gimcrack, yeah. It's probably just about good enough to win a Lauber, to be fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
To win a Gimcrack, but yeah. So I mean, it's, you know, it's not the best race in the world to go for something that's got more potential to improve.
Might have to hide a couple of things to win a Lauber, mind you. But Power Mode is one more I'd mention as well, because this horse, oh my God, he is a good-looking horse. He's an absolute muscle machine. After that Yarmouth win, I thought this is definitely a listed or group horse, and he ran quite well at Dover last time. Alice Haynes ran one horse today and finished second in the nursery, so the 2-year-olds are going all right. So yeah, what we're saying is anything could win this, Simon.
Yeah, I think that's true. You know, Alice Haynes is a Coral Race Club trainer. She's only in her third year, doing brilliantly, and particularly with the 2-year-olds. And obviously, you know, had the foresight to take this out to Deauville, ran a great race in a Grade 3 over there. So I don't think anything's that chance. I mean, if I spotted Yahangia, had a look, watched back of his races last time out. He's a really big, strong, 2-year-old. I think he hasn't run since the end of June, so be given a little bit of time before this. And if you watch the race, he was always holding the second. Yeah, as I say, as Tom said, ran green, but he could have gone on for another 2 furlongs and he stayed in front. It was a comfortable win, but obviously a big step up in class to this. I mean, this is a great race over the years. Just having a quick look through the last 10 winners: Muhara, Blue Point, Emiratiana, Minzal, all won this as 2-year-olds and went on to be top class sprinting 3-year-olds and older. And I say that relationship, that full brother, the Hello Yumzane, who I think was second in a Platinum Jubilee, as well as winning a Betfred Sprint or whatever they call it, the Haydock Sprint. Suggested Yahangia might be a bit of value, and he's been well back, probably because he's been tipped up by Tom. I've got an In the Know special. Now, I think this is an interesting one because it's
here we go.
Set yourself up.
Right, this is Kilian or Johannes Brahms, the 2 9-4 joint favourites, to either of them to win the race by over a length. Right, they're both 9-4, so effectively the price is around 4-6 to win the race, give or take a bit. But 7 of the last 8 runnings of this race, the winner has won by more than a length. So I mean, I know every year's different, but this is a race where the winner of the race has historically generally won by more than a length. So if it's their 4-6 to win, but they've got to win by more than a length, and it's 11-4, one of them to win more than a length, technically, that should be a reasonable value bet.
Yeah.
Any takers?
I mean, I'm not quite convinced. Tom?
Far too, for a man who can't even differentiate between an Ipswich goalie and a magician, that was far too complicated for me, son.
Yeah. I also thought about Simon, for a man who's been in PR for so long, that was the worst selling of that offer. You were like, this is interesting, I think. So
they do take some working out, don't they? And actually did the research. It felt like it wasn't crazy, because sometimes, you know, we'd win by more than length. Check the record, they're all winning by a neck and a nose. You think, well, how often do they ever win by a length or more? But I thought it was interesting, given it was a 2-year-old sprint, 6 furlongs, and actually it's often there's a bit of distance between the winner and the second. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Right, yes. Off to Florida again. I'll use the Gimcrack then, wide open, loads of opinions. Kevin Ryan's 4 winners in the last 20 years. Tom, are?
Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
Amadeus Wolf.
Yeah.
Emirati Anna.
Yeah.
And David Blaine, the very famous
magician.
I knew I was getting there.
Oh, it all comes around, doesn't it? It all comes back around again. What wins the Gimcrack, Gills?
I don't know, I fell asleep half an hour ago.
Yeah. Pick a card. Any card.
King's something. Gamble?
King's Gamble.
That's it.
There you go. Okay. Tom Segal?
Yeah, King's Gamble and Jahangier for me.
Okay. And Simon Clare?
Yeah, Jahangier for me each way.
Okay, fair enough. I'll go with King's Gamble. I'm going to have a Sabre on Power Mode just because he's such a good looker. As for these at home, Sharp Fitness going for Haller Emirati at 40 to 1. And Jahangier was available at 33 to Stevens 99, so that's been well backed as well. Tom Leach says he likes Hartem, but it's a no bet race. From some fast sprinters to some even faster sprinters here for this year's Nunthorpe. Highfield Princess is 6-4 to retain her crown. Bradsell is 4-1. Big Evs is 7-1. Regional 8-1. Dramatised 11-1. Twilight Call 16-1. Equality 25-1. Aesop's Fables is also 25s. And throw out some more names. I mean, we know how open this race is if Cardem isn't on that first page as well. We've got Ladies Church, who's a very, very fast horse. Nymphadora's got course and distance form as well. Get Ahead, if that one wins, Keels will, quite frankly, I think retire never to be seen again. But it's Highfield Princess, who's 6-4 favourite to retain the crown. We've seen 3 horses in the past sort of 10 or 15 years do that. Keels, Borderless Scott and Batarosh and Mecca's Angel as well. And my God, she's certainly as good as those 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think she'll probably win because she loves York, doesn't she? She's just really good there.
Yep.
Second to Azure Blue, given the penalty away, won this very easily last year. Has won the Duke of York as well. So yes, I think she's the most likely winner. I have taken a chance each way on Twilight Calls because I just thought he was just a massive eye catcher at Ascot in the King's Stand. Now, issue with him is it just Ascot? To a certain extent, because he was second to Nature Strip in the King's Stand the year before, but he was switched straight away coming out of the stalls this time, and then just ran into a wall of horses. And basically, Ryan Moore, who rode him then, just wasn't even able to throw anything at him in the last furlong and a half or so, and he's still only been beaten 3 and a bit lengths. He definitely would have been on the heels of them.
Yeah.
Whether York is going to prove his track or not is another thing. But he has got one very good run at Haydock when he was unlucky not to win the Temple, and he did actually travel really well over 5.5 furlongs here as a 3-year-old in that opening handicap on the first day before not quite getting home. So I'm going to give him a chance because he's a much better horse now anyway. He likes really fast ground. He's been in the first 8 of 15 starts, and I just expect him to run well.
Okay, Twilight Calls then is a 16-1 shot. Yeah, my slight concern is that the track is maybe a bit too fast for him, and there are some very fast horses in here. Of course, Highfield Princess is one of them. Only one horse has beat her over 5 furlongs, though, Tom, and that horse is available at 4-1 in this race at a track that he's won at as well.
Yeah, I like Bradsell. I do like Bradsell a lot, actually. I think, obviously, Highfield Princess is the one to beat, but I mean, this is a lot better race than the one she won last year. Having said that, she absolutely bolted up. It's definitely a lot better than the race she won at Goodwood, which was basically a Group 3 in all but name. There's an argument for thinking that she's beatable. She is clearly the one to beat. She loves York, but I think this is as good a 5 furlong race as she's ever run in, for sure. And I thought Bradsell beat her fairly comfortably at Ascot. She had a good preparation going in there. She'd run well at Ascot. She'd run well at Ascot in the past. She'd obviously been a Royal Ascot winner before that. She'd had a run at York. Bradsell had sort of been mucked about over 6 furlongs. That was his first try at 5. I think there might be more to come from him at 5. As we know, when he won his maiden at York as a 2-year-old, he won it by about half the track, didn't he? So I don't see the track being a problem. I think they can't go fast enough for him. I think he's the one with the potential to be a seriously, a sprinter that we will remember. Anything else wins in the race, I don't think we'll be remembering. Unless Highfield Princess or Bradsell don't win, I think it'll be one of those. It won't be one of those Nunthorpes that we won't remember for very long.
Well, I guess unless Big Evs win, in which case, a 2-year-old winning this would be a headline, wouldn't it?
Remember the name of the other 2-year-olds that won it, Ross?
The Kingsgate Native win
Native won it, yeah.
And
no.
Lyric Fantasy.
Yeah.
Lyric Fantasy.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. Big Evs is probably better than Kingsgate Native, to be fair, or as good as Kingsgate Native.
I bet he is.
He
was actually very good on his best.
At his 2-year-old form at the moment, Keels, he might not end up being that good. But Kingsgate Native, what did Kingsgate Native?
He was still a maiden when he won this, wasn't he? But he didn't start until Royal Ascot.
Yeah, but still,
he was second in the Windsor Castle, wasn't he?
Brute winner. So he's a pretty decent horse, but I think the two of them at the top stand out. I think 4-1's a perfectly reasonable price for Bradsell, considering I went back and watched the Ascot race a couple of times again. He just travelled so strongly. If anything, she hit the front too soon. I think she could have held on to him for another furlong. He was in front, 2 furlongs out nearly. She could have held on to him much, much longer, and I think he could have won really easily. So I think he's potential to be a really, really top-class sprinter. He looked at in the Coventry last year. That form is obviously with Royal Scotsman and all around is really, really good too. If he can repeat, once again, he's a bit like Twilight Calls, isn't he? Because his 2 best runs have been at Ascot. Is he going to be quite so effective at a track that isn't the same sort of come from behind style? But he didn't. When he won his maiden here, he was really impressive. So I'm quite keen on Bradsell. I think he'll win.
Yeah. I mean, he does absolutely tank along Bradsell. Yeah, I think he's. I mean, I'm looking at him at 4-1. I'm thinking, what can I each way double and treble with him? Because I can't see him running a bad race really. Other horses to mention, obviously regional is improving every single run,
and he obviously runs really well at York, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So you've got to.
It's a big step up, but horses have done it in the past.
Horses. Yeah, loads of horses have done it in the past, haven't they?
Your Moskills and your Kea Moros and whatnot.
It's the division where handicappers come up through the ranks and win group races regularly, isn't it? So he can certainly do it. He is going forward, and it's another one for whom it is his track, isn't it? Yeah, just wanted to say that according to Racing Post ratings, Kingsgate Native was a £5 bet horse and Big Evs when he won it. Yep. But back there was dramatised as obviously won the Temple Stakes. Looked really good that day. Did have rail advantage, which was very important. She's a fast ground filly as well. Yeah, she's a fast ground filly. So, but she was also beaten in the Lauver last year when a short price favourite. At a massive price. Nymphadora is another one who really likes York. Probably out of her depth, but
I think she's the opposite. She's a soft ground horse, isn't she?
Yeah, possibly. But they do run. Some horses do run remarkably well at Goodwood.
Yeah.
And my old mate Get Ahead had no chance once they decided to drop her in at Sandown last time. Is better than that. Isn't good enough to win this, but I'll have to throw something at her just in case.
Yeah, fair enough. But another fast ground horse as well. So the Nunthorpe Stakes, I think everyone, again, strangely, Simon, I think we all think that Highfield Princess will probably win, but
we've all backed something else.
We've all backed something else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's fantastic. She's the last couple of seasons since last year when she won on the all-weather finals day. I mean, she's just been a revelation, hasn't she? Over 6 and 5, and she always turns up. Her 2 runs at Ascot were excellent in defeat, and then obviously it was a relatively straightforward win at Goodwood last time. But I think it was impressive enough to know that she's in tip-top condition. John Quinn and Sean, his son, trained with the Coral Racing Club, which I might remind you is a free-to-join racing club. So if you haven't joined it and you're a Coral customer, please join. They've got an unraced 2-year-old called Phoenix of Dreams, which will be out later in the autumn. But back to the point we're talking about, and they're very confident they've got her in tip-top condition. And, she's ready to peak. She won the race last year. We're going 15-8 till the end of the show for up to £20, and she's 6-4 in the main market. I think she's got a great chance. But Bradsill beat her at Royal Ascot, and you've got to respect Bradsill. And Big Evs, I think, again, you've got to respect a 2-year-old with leading form claims. Over the last 10 years, there's only been 5 2-year-olds that have run. 3 were outsiders and finished unplaced. The 2 that came there with, I suppose, market, chances. Acapulco was second at 13-8. The Platinum Queen last year was second at 9-2. And they do get that fantastic weight allowance. And Big Evs, the form of the Windsor Castle and then winning the Moulcombe last time is exactly the sort of form that these 2-year-olds tend to come into the race with. So I think Big Evs will be there or thereabouts. I think Bradsill will be there or thereabouts. And I'm hoping that Highfield Princess is just too tough and too good and wins. But I think it's a fascinating Nunthorpe. It might not be as high quality as some in the past, but I think it's no less compelling.
Highfield Princess 6-4 then. 60% of you at home think that she's going to win. And I think Jason Hart has been quite confidently saying that Big Evs, for example, is very, very fast, but will give Highfield Princess a lovely lead to the 2 pole, and then bang, she will take over. So we will see. As for the rest at home, Music Mike says, love to see Highfield Princess, but it's a no-bet race for me. Sharp Fitness looks going for Living the Dream at 40-1. Some big prices there. And Destiny Sound says, Ross, if you had a look at Queen Mead, could 5 furlongs be her trip? Yeah, could indeed for Kevin Ryan. And she does seem to have plenty of speed, and she's drawn in that 1 box, which hasn't been a bad place to be over the years at York. But Paul Kealy, Highfield Princess with the heart for most of us, I think, but the head.
Yeah. Well, I remember it's sort of head and heart, but the wallet has gone with Twilight Calls.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And Tom.
No, Bradsill for me. I think he'll win.
Okay. Yeah, I do as well. I've all this time, Tom, and I've realised that agreeing with you in the sprints probably the way to go. But Archie Watson and Holly Doyle with Bradsill. And Simon?
Yeah, I really fancy Highfield Princess. I'm hoping she wins, and I'm hoping they're leaning towards maybe another tilt at the Breeders' Cup turf sprint over in Santa Anita, where I'll be. So I'd quite like to see her.
We got Coral Racing Club, we got the Breeders' Cup. What's next?
Jim Crowley, we've had Jim Crowley.
Jim Crowley.
Any Tizzard? We need a Tizzard runner.
Oh, that might be a stretch.
It might be a stretch, yeah, to be fair. Right, we've got 3 races to rattle through then on the penultimate day of the Ebor meeting. And not as many runners in the races as you would necessarily expect, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem to get through them. The Fillies Handicap at 4:10 over the 10 furlong trip is headed by Rawaye at 5-2. Sirona is 11-2. Manzo is 11-2. Sisyphus Strength 7-1. Reach 8-1. Youngest 8-1. Lanchinta is 11-1. Prenup is 16-1. And it is bigger price as the rest. But the unexposed 3-year-old at the top of the market, Rawaye at Kielce, taking up a fair old chunk after that big run at Goodwood. What's the angle for you?
Yeah, it was a big run. You certainly see the case for her because she definitely wants fast ground, doesn't she? She's not absolutely copper-bottomed at the trip. She probably will stay. She's just too short for me. And I thought Amon Zoe stood out for William Haggis. Now, he tends to have a lot of favourites in these handicaps pretty much every year, doesn't he? And she was a beaten one in this race last year, but she was beaten by a filly now rated a stone higher. So I wouldn't hold that against her. She obviously hasn't run since. The race she won before, she beat HMS President, who is a now 12-pound higher as well. It all depends on how fit she is. I'd imagine she's very fit because she's running here, and I'd imagine she's still reasonably well handicapped because William Haggis has only recently put her in the Group 2 Blandford Stakes at the Curragh. So if she's got a Group 2 entry, she's coming back to have another go at a race that she was well fancied to win last year. I was surprised she was available at an each way price, to be honest.
Okay. Amanzo is an 11-2 shot here. Rawaye 5-2 though. I really like one in this, Tom, and I thought Reach was really, really interesting. She's absolutely dotted up twice this year, and again, I read the comments, and there's a lot of races to go through, and it would be remiss of me to get stuck into a Racing Post close-ups writer. Get it wrong last time out, but I'm not sure lost position soon weakened necessarily gives the right impression for a horse who I thought was stopped about 7 times at Windsor.
Tell me about it. He was one of my selections on one of those Racing League days. James Sullivan rode him. I can't remember the last time he rode at Windsor, but he did everything right until all the front runners came back into his face, and then he had nowhere to go. She had nowhere to go for the last 3 furlongs. She was really impressive at Beverley. She beat some good fillies there. Yeah, I wouldn't put you off her at all. Joanna Mason rides her tomorrow. But I was with Keels. I thought Aman Zoe stood out. I presume, I can't believe she's not going to be fit. I mean, this will have been a plan for, I know William Haggis wouldn't be running her if she wasn't somewhere near her best. The form of last year's race is good, and they were miles clear of the rest. They were 5 lengths clear of the rest that day. I think she's gone up 5 pounds, but not sure this is a good race. I also like Sisyphus Strength a bit for Andrew Balding, simply because they backed her to beat Save the Last Dance at the start of the season. In fact, the first 3 runs this season were complete write-offs. And when I say complete write-offs, I've never seen things go more wrong for any horse, probably ever. She was pulled up in the mud at Chester, then she stumbled and nearly fell at the start at Goodwood, and then she went off like a sprinter in that race at Royal Ascot. Her and Davideo went off and finished last and second last, and then both came out and won next time. She was back to beat Save the Last Dance. I think they think she's pretty good. I think she's a See the Stars filly, and she was really impressive at Newmarket last time. She's got up 5 pounds for that, but she's in still 1 to get the ground she likes. So I thought her and Aman Zoe, but Reach is the other one that will have me on the cliff top tomorrow, because I was very keen on her in that Windsor race. Now she might need it as well, Ross, because she'd had a bit of time off.
I don't think she. Honestly, I watched that replay. I thought she was a little bit unlucky. I think it's a really, really good race. Spirit Dancer goes to the Strensall Stakes. She was stopped, and coasted home on the bridle, beaten 6 lengths. If she needed it, Tom, she must have a stone in hand.
Well, I think she's got a good chance. She's another See the Stars filly. She's got plenty. I don't know how they got hold of her for virtually nothing. And her 2 wins were really impressive. She beat a good filly at the time before as well, when she won the first time. So I get it. And it will have been the Easterby sort of... I sort of wondered whether the Windsor race was the sort of get her ready for this race, given it's at York. But This is quite a good race with Rowea, Aman Zoe and Sisyphus Strength in there. So whether she's quite that good, she could easily be. But I think it's quite a good race. I'm heels on Aman Zoe, really.
Okay, well, I'll be having a Wootton Sun Reach each way double to break the Segal heart, potentially. But Simon, we've still got 2 more races to go, so very quickly, any extra places or offers on this?
Yeah, we're going the extra place, 4 places on this race, and it's been a huge move for Amanzo. I mean, it was 7.5 to 1 just before the show started. We clicked into 7. Obviously, the guys have tipped it, but this is more than that. It's a short of 7 to 2 and 4 in a place. We're 11 to 2, top price Amanzo. Everything suggests the horses fit well, fancied. Obviously, tips for it as well. It's going to go up a short price. It could even probably challenge Rowea for favouritism if the market keeps moving the way it is. And the horse I like is Serona. I mean, it's drifting the betting, but mainly because there are these tips and the market's moving for the likes of Reach, Sisyphus Strength and Amanzo. But Serona had been running in listed class up until now, dropped back into a handicap company, and it was quite an eye-catcher over a mile. They put Ryan Moore back up in trip to 10 furlongs. I thought Serona could go well in this company. But I say she's drifting out to as big as 7 to 1 in a place. That's for me. But Amanzo, huge move.
Okay, there you go. Plenty of opinions in that 4:10 now. 2 more races to go. 4:45, the Convivial Maiden is up next. Which future group horse will be winning this year? Under the Sun is 11 to 4 favourite. Battle Cry 7 to 2. Kings Valley 7 to 2. Castle in the Sand 7. Zane Blue 9 to 1. Sisyphean is 10 to 1. Superposition doesn't go, and it's 16s bar those. Pretty much the first 5 in the betting keels have all shown very good form so far in one or in the shape of Battle Cry. 2 runs and Under the Sun 2 runs to date. You have to be a good horse to win it. Which one's it going to be?
You do often have to be a good horse to win it because there's an obscene amount of money for it, isn't it? I came down to Castle in the Sand because the boarding horses normally improve dramatically. Thought the full first time that was okay. He's had a winner 2 seconds in it in the last 6 years or so. That'll do for me, I guess. It's a maiden race, isn't it? You're only guessing.
Yeah, it's one for the future winners.
Yeah.
To take out of it. Yeah, and plenty of them do come out of it. What about you, Tom?
I like 2 Kings Valley. Ollie Sanks has got a credible record with his 2-year-olds this year. Shawari inquisitively 3rd at Ascot, and Per Contra's 2 from 2. Thought he caught my eye at Sandown. And the other one is Zane Blue right down the bottom. John Butler already had a winner this week. Second to King's Gamble at Newmarket, was well back that day as well. So if King's Gamble goes and runs well in the Gimcrack, I'm pretty sure Zane Blue won't be 9 to 1.
Okay, there you go. And Simon?
Well, we sponsor the Manor House Stables where Hugo Palmer trains, just as we do sponsor the Joe Tizard Yard. And Hugo writes a blog.
That is bingo, isn't it?
That's beautiful. That was exceptional. That was exceptional. 2 in 1. Bash bosh. There you go.
But he's very confident about Under the Sun. He said he's got a Dewhurst entry. He's a son of Golden Horn out of a Montjoie mare. So the fact that not precociously bred, yet he's been impressing him right from the word go in January. He says it will take a good one to beat him tomorrow. And I think he fancies him to go very well. He's been well backed, 11 to 4 from 3. So he'll do for me, Under the Sun.
Okay, Under the Sun, yeah. And his couple of 2-year-olds ran well in the nursery earlier on as well. Of course, Hugo Palmer and James Doyle will be on a bit of a high after that win today in the Yorkshire Oaks. The final race tomorrow, a mile final, the 3-year-olds, and 12 of them lining up. And Emshire is 7 to 2. English Oak 4 to 1. Taffrige is 11 to 2. Silver Sword 8 to 1. Bajan Bandit 8 to 1. Glenfinnan 9 to 1. Modesty 10 to 1. Dear My Friend is 12s and bigger prices. The rest here again, another open race. And speaking of Hugo Palmer, I thought Power of Gold a little bit of a squeak. 25 to 1 shot. They've been running pretty well and has fast ground form, but given that that horse is such a big price, this must be a good race, Tom.
Yeah, it's a good race. I like Silver Sword, Ross. Split, Torito and Balance Play at Epsom. Got stuck in the mud last time in the best race at Goodwood. I thought ran at Goodwood, Royal Realm or Regal Rhyme. I can't remember. I'm old.
Royal Rhyme. Yeah, that's the one.
Royal Rhyme. He got stuck in the mud that day. Still ran well to finish 7th. Back to a mile. Back on fast ground. I think that Epsom form gives him every chance.
Okay, Silver Sword it is then. Finn's Charm was also in that Royal Rhyme race. Well beaten, but he ran quite well last time out. He's in this race as well. Keels?
Yeah, this is Glenfinnan's day. Second in the Convivial last year. Had some good horses behind him, including High Royal, rated 114. Only ran once afterwards in a Mickey Mouse Maiden at Yarmouth, which he won. Really nice reappearance on fast ground that he wants at Newmarket in July, and then just hated the ground last time. Back on the ground he wants. I think he's got a massive chance.
Okay, there you go. I'm quite looking forward to seeing Taffrige as well. This horse looks like a proper fast ground animal coming through late and fast to win at Yarmouth, and should have won at Goodwood a couple of starts before that as well. So Taffrige for me. Simon Clare, wrap us up.
Yeah, listen, just searching for an angle. Just interesting to look back that low draws have got a really good record on this. I think 8 of the last 10 years have been drawn lower than 5. And Power of Gold, the one you picked out, Hugo Palmer's mount, drawn 2, so well drawn. And Hugo says this has been the plan all season, this race. He's more ability than he's shown so far. And this track and trip will suit him. He's the outside of the field, but I'm very happy with him and looking forward to seeing him run. So at a massive price, I think he's 14th one. You can get bigger elsewhere. Each way, Power of Gold for me, but no, nice competitive heats to end with.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 25 to 1 is too big. That fast ground race at Doncaster, the Cobalt Blue won the other day. Rizzoni's come out and franked the form as well. Laser Guided came out and won at Pontefract as well. What's that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair enough, Keels. Yeah, you're right. I will. I'll have £5 on it for you. But clear us up, Keels.
I can't remember. Glenfinnan. Yeah, I quite like his chance.
Okay. I'll go for Taffrige and Power of Gold. Tom Segal.
Silver Sword.
Okay. And Simon Clare.
Power of Gold for me each way.
Okay. Right. Naps coming up after this. Okay, there you go. You could go to the Breeders' Cup. Don't forget, if you're still watching, like the stream, and if you like it, Tom Segal's going to come in on Champions Day with a top hat and tails, pull a rope out of his mouth full of knots, some doves out of a top hat as well, and share his bottle of champagne from the fridge. Until then, let's get the naps for day 3 of your Paul Kealy.
Yeah, price is beginning to go, but I thought Amazon stood out on the day.
Okay, what about you, Tom?
I hope I'm going to steal your thunder, Ross. Bradsell for me.
Okay, Bradsell it is. Simon?
I'm going to go for Hugo Palmer's Under the Sun in the Convivial Maiden. He seems very bullish. I'm happy to back him.
Okay, there you go. I was actually going to go for Reach as well. So, no, it's the Reach and Wood Sun each way double, isn't it, Tom? It's got to be.
That's it.
There you go. Right. One more to go. We'll be getting stuck into the Ebor tomorrow night. See you there.